Zynoria, a planet of jagged mountains and glowing blue peaks. Strange plants sway in the alien breeze. The ground is a mix of purple and green dust. Silence hangs heavy, broken only by the steady thump of a heartbeat.
Day 1. Mission log entry 246. Ship is a complete loss. I'm stranded.
Captain Eli Walker emerges from the wreckage. His breath is ragged, his visor cracked. His oxygen levels are dangerously low. His ship, the Pioneer, is nothing more than a smoldering tomb. Eli forces himself towards what's left of the escape pods. Most are crushed, their contents spilled across the alien landscape. Hope dwindles with each passing moment. Finally, he finds one intact. Its door is jammed, but he manages to pry it open. Inside, a faint light flickers. Supplies. He pulls out a battered oxygen tank, its gauge reading dangerously low, a multi-tool, a flare gun, a solar-powered communication device, its signal weak and erratic.
Not much, but it'll have to do.
His voice is determined, but a tremor of fear runs through him. He is utterly alone. He scans the horizon. In the distance, a range of mountains beckons. A faint path lined with glowing plants winds towards them. It's his only option. Eli adjusts his pack, the weight of his situation heavy on his shoulders. He takes a deep breath, the thin air burning his lungs, and starts walking. Every step is a victory against the crushing weight of despair. The alien sun beat down on Eli as he trudged across the strange landscape. Every step sent puffs of purple dust swirling around his boots. The air was thick, heavy, and strangely silent. He checked his oxygen gauge, 7%. Panic welled up inside him, threatening to consume him. He had to find shelter. And soon, the path led him through a field of tall, swaying plants. They pulsed with a soft blue light, casting eerie shadows that danced around him. The air buzzed with a strange energy. Eli pressed on, his breath growing more ragged with every step. He knew he was pushing his limits, but he couldn't stop now, not when his life depended on it. The alien sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of purple and green. The air grew colder, the silence even more oppressive. Eli stumbled, his legs screaming for rest. He could feel the darkness closing in, both outside and within him. Despair threatened to overwhelm him. He was out of time, out of options. Suddenly he saw it, a faint glow emanating from a cave hidden among the rocks. Hope, like a beacon in the darkness, flared within him. With the last of his strength, Eli staggered towards the cave. He collapsed at the entrance, his body spent, his oxygen gauge flashing a menacing red. Darkness engulfed him. Eli drifted in and out of consciousness, his dreams filled with images of Earth, the blue sky, the green grass, the faces of his loved ones. He woke to a soft hum, a rhythmic pulse that seemed to vibrate deep within his bones. He struggled to sit up, his vision blurry, his head pounding. He was alive. He had survived the night.
I'm alive.
He fumbled for his oxygen tank, his fingers closing around empty air. Panic surged through him. He was going to die here, alone on this godforsaken planet.
No. This can't be happening.
His vision blurred. Eli blinked, trying to clear his sight. He was still alive. His suit's emergency oxygen reserves must have kicked in during the night. Relief washed over him, followed quickly by a wave of dizziness. He had to find a way to replenish his oxygen supply.
Gotta find more oxygen.
As his eyes adjusted to the dim light of the cave, he noticed something strange. The air inside wasn't still. It seemed to shimmer almost imperceptibly, like heat rising from the ground on a scorching day.
What is that?
He reached out, hesitant at first, and touched one of the glowing plants near the cave entrance. The plant pulsed, its light intensifying for a fleeting moment. The air around it buzzed with a faint, almost musical hum.
Could these plants be generating something more than just light?
Eli recalled his training, the countless hours spent studying alien ecosystems. He had never encountered anything like this before. His scientific curiosity battled with his instinct for self-preservation. He had to learn more.
I need to understand this. It could be my only chance.
The hum grew stronger as Eli ventured deeper into the cave. It resonated through the ground, vibrating up his legs, sending a shiver down his spine. His heart pounded in his chest, a drumbeat to the strange music of this alien world.
This place, it's alive with sound.
He rounded a bend in the passage and stopped dead in his tracks. Before him, the cave opened into a vast cavern. The source of the hum, undeniable now, emanated from the center of the chamber. An ethereal blue light pulsed from within, casting long, dancing shadows across the cavern walls.
What is this place?
Fear gripped Eli, a primal instinct warning him of the unknown. He considered turning back, seeking refuge in the familiar darkness of the cave entrance, but something, perhaps that same insistent hum, drew him forward.
I have to see. I have to know. Taking a deep breath, Eli stepped into the cavern. The air here felt different, charged with an unseen energy. He moved cautiously, each step echoing in the vast emptiness. The humming intensified, a symphony of sound that seemed to vibrate within his very bones.
As he drew closer, the source of the light and sound came into view. A large crystalline structure rose from the center of the cavern floor, pulsing with an inner light that shifted and swirled like a miniature galaxy. Tendrils of energy snaked outwards, connecting to the glowing plants that lined the cavern walls.
Eli reached out a gloved hand, his breath catching in his throat. He had a feeling, a deep certainty, that this structure held the key to his survival on this alien world. But could he unlock its secrets without becoming another casualty of Zynoria's unforgiving landscape? Eli hesitated, his hand hovering over the pulsating crystal. A cold dread washed over him. What if this was a trap? What if this energy was toxic, deadly? His mind screamed at him to turn back, to seek safety in the shadows.
But something stronger, a deep-seated curiosity urged him forward. He had come this far, faced his fear and stared death in the face. He wouldn't back down now, not when the answer to his survival might lie within this enigmatic structure.
Taking a deep breath, Eli pressed his hand against the smooth, cool surface of the crystal. In an instant, a jolt surged through him, knocking him off his feet. His vision exploded in a kaleidoscope of colors and shapes. Images flashed before his eyes. Maps, star systems, strange creatures, and technologies beyond his comprehension.
He landed hard on the cavern floor, his head spinning, his body trembling. As quickly as it began, the vision ended, leaving him breathless and disoriented. He lay there for a moment, trying to make sense of what he had experienced. It was like a data dump, a torrent of information downloaded directly into his brain.
Slowly, he sat up, his gaze drawn back to the crystalline structure. The humming had intensified, but it was different now, melodic, almost soothing. The air shimmered around him, charged with an unseen energy. He felt different, changed.
He realized then that the structure wasn't trying to harm him, it was trying to communicate. It had shown him visions, shared knowledge, but it was speaking in a language he didn't understand.
Eli closed his eyes, focusing on the hum, letting it wash over him. As he did, he realized the sound wasn't random. It had a pattern, a rhythm, almost like music. And within that music, he began to discern faint whispers, fleeting impressions, like words forming in the back of his mind.
He focused on those whispers, trying to decipher their meaning. Slowly, painstakingly, he began to understand. The structure was sentient, aware. It was ancient, powerful, and it held the key to survival on Zynoria. A wave of relief washed over him, followed quickly by a surge of hope. He wasn't alone, and somehow he knew he was going to be all right.
Eli sat before the crystalline structure, his breath echoing in the cavern's vast emptiness. The hum resonated around him, a comforting presence in this alien world. He was no longer afraid. He was no longer alone.
He had learned much in the past few days. The structure, which he now thought of as Zyn, was a repository of knowledge, a living library of this planet's history and secrets. Zyn communicated through light and sound, sharing its knowledge in a way that Eli's mind could process. He had learned of Zynoria's harsh beauty, its delicate ecosystem, and the creatures that had once thrived here. He had learned of the planet's slow decline, a victim of its own unstable energy. And he had learned of Zyn's role, a caretaker struggling to restore balance.
The gift.
Eli understood now. He wasn't just stranded on Zynoria. He was meant to be here. He was meant to help. Zyn needed him just as he needed Zyn.
Zyn had shown me how to harness the planet's energy, how to purify its air and water. It taught me which plants were safe to eat, how to build shelter, how to survive in this unforgiving environment. And in return, I offered my companionship, my intelligence, my desire to help.
But he spent his days exploring the surrounding area, collecting data and experimenting with Zyn's guidance. He was amazed by the planet's resilience, its ability to adapt and survive against all odds. He saw hope in the newly sprouting plants, in the creatures that were slowly returning to the area.
A new dawn.
One morning, Eli awoke to a sight that took his breath away. He stood at the entrance of his makeshift shelter, a structure woven from the bioluminescent plants, and looked out at the horizon. The sky was ablaze with color, a kaleidoscope of purple, green, and gold.
But it wasn't just the colors that captivated me. It was the air. It was clean, crisp, invigorating. For the first time since my arrival, I took a deep breath without the aid of my suit, my lungs filling with the sweet, pure oxygen.
He looked back at the crystalline structure, now bathed in the warm glow of the alien sunrise.
We did it, Zyn. We brought Zynoria back to life. A life renewed.
Eli's days took on a new rhythm, a harmonious blend of exploration and companionship. He spent his mornings tending to the gardens he had cultivated near Zyn's chamber, nurturing the bioluminescent plants that provided him with both light and sustenance. The air, once thin and harsh, now hummed with a new vitality, a symphony of life returning to Zynoria.
I ventured out often, my explorations taking me deeper into the alien landscape. Zyn, through our shared connection, guided me, revealing hidden oases teeming with strange and wonderful creatures. I documented everything, my journals filled with sketches and observations, a testament to the planet's slow but steady rebirth.
As the alien sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in breathtaking hues of purple and green, Eli would return to Zyn's chamber. The humming resonated through him, a comforting lullaby that eased his weary muscles and calmed his mind. He was no longer Captain Eli Walker, stranded astronaut, but simply Eli, a grateful inhabitant of this extraordinary world.
Symphony of Zynoria.
One night, as Eli sat by Zyn's side, a new sound reached his ears. It was faint at first, a delicate melody carried on the evening breeze. He looked up, his gaze drawn to the newly vibrant sky. Stars, once distant pinpoints of light, now shimmered with a brilliance he had never witnessed before.
And then I saw them. Creatures of light, ethereal and graceful, danced across the sky, their movements tracing patterns of breathtaking beauty. They moved in harmony with Zyn's hum, their luminescence pulsing in time with the planet's heartbeat.
Eli watched in awe, his heart swelling with a mix of wonder and gratitude. He was witnessing the rebirth of a world, a testament to the power of connection and the enduring strength of life itself. The symphony of Zynoria, once silenced by tragedy, had found its voice once more.
I was home.
Fade to black.